Just when you thought you could turn your back and walk away, the dark cloud of human indignity follows you. You have no choice but to turn and look it in the eye. It's the sex offender hit list.
A registered sex offender from Livonia, that's Michigan, right next door to me actually, is indicted for allegedly receiving and possessing child sexual abuse material. Well, this is Brett David Goodrow, a 43-year-old watermelon, and he was charged last month with a count of receiving and possession of child sexual abuse material by a grand jury in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Michigan, and he was indicted on July 23rd. If convicted, he faces 15 years to 40 years in prison for the reception charge, as well as 15 to 40 years for the possession charge because of his criminal record. The Homeland Security agent said officials began investigating allegations against Goodrow in February after the police in Bakersfield, California arrested a suspect who told them he had sent the Livonia man child sexual abuse material videos. Investigators searched the suspect's cell phone and found chats between Goodrow and him that included the videos. Goodrow allegedly asked that suspect if he had any similar videos that he could share with him. And then on March 12th, Homeland Security agents from Detroit executed a search warrant at Goodrow's Livonia home and seized several electronic devices. And of course, an examination of his cell phone revealed the chat, as well as 25 images and 195 videos of child sexual abuse material. During questioning, Goodrow told agents he had an online account with a website authorities know is used to host files of such child sexual abuse material, and he permitted agents to log on to his account, where they found about 1,690 images and 107 videos of child sexual abuse material. Furthermore, agents found chats between Goodrow and an unknown person in which they exchanged child sexual abuse material. Goodrow was registered in Michigan as a sex offender due to a 2003 conviction for fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct. They also said he's been incarcerated since July 17th, which is a good thing. Michigan State Police arrested him in March of 2003 after a mother reported seeing Goodrow put his hands in the groin area of her 5-year-old son outside of his pants, according to the federal complaint. Goodrow pleaded guilty to that charge and was incarcerated for 9 months and served 3 years of probation. Well, you know, if he might have done 25 years, he wouldn't be around to do this one, right? And now we have an employee of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. He's now behind bars in Montgomery County on charges related to possession of child sexual abuse material. What a sad-looking face here on Mr. Garrett Anderson, a 37-year-old. Well, he's facing 10 total counts of possession of child sexual abuse material, 6 of which also include the intent to promote that content. Anderson was an employee of the Bureau at the time of his arrest. Special Agent Dion Washington with the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Houston provided the following statement regarding Anderson's arrest. ATF takes allegations of criminal misconduct seriously. The ATF employees are held to a high standard of conduct and are expected to maintain the highest ethics in both their professional and private lives. This employee operated in administrative support capacity. And then he went on to say for additional information about the allegations to reach out to the Montgomery County Constable's office. I guess they didn't want to put too many details out there. The court documents also confirm that Anderson is married and lives in the Spring area.
Yeah, my mother told me there'd be days like this.
Michigan. A Clare County man was arrested for alleged sex crimes against a child, according to the Michigan State Police. 33-year-old Zachariah Duche was arrested after investigators found he had been creating and sharing files of child sexually abusive material. Duche was arraigned Wednesday in the 80th District Court on the following charges: 1 count of second-degree criminal sexual conduct, a person under 13. 3 counts of aggravated child sexually abusive activity. 3 counts of distributing, promotion of child sexually abusive material. And 6 counts of using a computer to commit a crime. If convicted of that second-degree criminal sexual conduct, Duche will face up to 25 years in prison, along with the other charges. See ya, Chomo. Georgia. A 52-year-old Buchanan man was arrested in a multi-agency operation that targeted illegal firearms as well as child sexual abuse material. Stephen Scott Knight was charged with 5 counts of possession of child sexual abuse material and 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He was then booked into the Haralson County Jail on August 1st. Investigators say they had received dozens of tips leading them to Knight. While executing a search warrant, electronic devices and 2 firearms were seized from his bedroom. This case involved multiple jurisdictions and a lot of moving parts. It took a great amount of teamwork, and I could not be prouder of everyone that was involved in this case, stated Sheriff Stacy Williams. Child cases of any type are generally some of the worst that investigators see. A child sexual abuse case of this magnitude takes a lot of work behind the scenes. I appreciate Sergeant Duggins and the job he's done, and I appreciate all the other agencies that have worked so hard to get this individual into custody and to get a lot of illegal guns off of the streets. Another search warrant was issued for a property he owned in Gadsden, Alabama, where investigators said more firearms were found, illegal ones at that. Investigators added that child sexual abuse material was also found on the electronic devices seized during those raids also. So of course Knight faces additional charges in Alabama as well.
I'm gonna give you solitary confinement for 99 years.
Indiana. A 36-year-old Fort Wayne man was arrested and charged with 4 felonies Thursday in connection to the sexual abuse of a girl starting when she was just in the 1st grade. Andrew Michael Hambrock has been charged with 3 counts of felony child molesting and 1 count of dissemination of matter harmful to minors. The charges carry more than a 90-year potential sentence also. Hambrock is accused of sexually abusing the girl several times over 4 years, according to a probable cause affidavit written by the Fort Wayne police officer Charles Balls. He allegedly told the girl not to tell her mom about the abuse also. The defendant did not agree to do an interview with Balls, but allegedly told the Department of Child Services case manager he first assaulted the girl when she was in the 1st grade. He said that the last time that he did was when she was 8 years old. See ya, Chomo. And back to Georgia again, where a Columbia County man has been arrested after an executed search warrant by authorities. According to the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, a search warrant was executed around 9 in the morning by investigators at a residence on Terry Court in Evans. According to those authorities, the warrant was for a person actively possessing and sharing child sexual abuse material. Authorities say that Stephen Yaniszewski, a 28-year-old, was the subject listed on the warrant, and the investigators state that in Stephen's bedroom they located 2 open laptops on the bed that were actively connected and sharing child sexual abuse material. According to the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, Yaniszewski is being charged with possession of child sexual abuse material as well as distribution of child sexual abuse material. And he's being held, of course, with no bond.
Now get in there!
An Illinois sheriff says the sexual assault of a child by an undocumented migrant was completely avoidable because the offender shouldn't have been in the country. The Kankakee County Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of Juan Alazar, a 38-year-old in unincorporated Bourbonnais, on Thursday, wherever that is. Authorities said Alazar was arrested in the Oak Creek Estates mobile home park. He's been charged with predatory criminal sexual assault of a victim under the age of 13, as well as criminal sexual assault. Although we want to make every effort possible to maintain the privacy to the victim in this particular case, I think it's vitally important to the residents of Kankakee County to understand that this heinous act was completely avoidable based solely on the fact that this offender should not be in the country. Downey said that in a statement. And of course, according to Downey, Alvazar has an ICE detainer based on his illegal status. See ya, illegal chomo. An Orange Park man was transported from the St. Johns County Jail on July 30th and returned to Clay County to face charges of possessing multiple depictions of child sexual abuse material. According to an affidavit for an arrest report, the Clay County Sheriff's Office Internet Crimes Against Children's Unit received a cyber tip on December 11th of last year that Sean Page Bennington, a 43-year-old, had downloaded 173 files of child sexual abuse material. He was charged with 20 counts of possessing, controlling, and viewing depictions of that material, and his bond was set at $1,500,066. His next court appearance is August 26th. See ya, chomo.
Let me out of here! Let me out of here!
A married teacher in Australia has been charged with sexual intercourse with a child under her care after allegedly having sex with a student in the back of her car. Taylor Braley, a 30-year-old, was arrested at Lernia High on Tuesday and charged with sexual intercourse with a child under her authority, sexually touching a child under her authority, and aggravated sexual assault of a child under her authority. According to bombshell court documents, the newlywed, she just got married, she broke down when the detectives arrived at the Southwest Sydney school where she works, and she became hysterical. She allegedly said, "I am going to jail, aren't I? I'm going to lose my family, my husband, my job, everything I have." The police alleged that Braley sent videos to the 17-year-old of herself masturbating, and that she bought the morning after pill after an alleged sexual encounter with the boy. The alleged affair started when the boy had Braley on Snapchat, and the pair began exchanging messages in early July. The accused allegedly sent a number of photographs and videos of both herself naked and while she was masturbating herself. The victim also returned a number of photographs and videos of himself as well. Braley then invited the teen to her North Wollongong home, where she allegedly kissed him before taking him to an upstairs room and masturbating him. Around a week later, Braley was on duty at school when she contacted the teen and told him that she was free for about an hour. They allegedly met off-site and had sex in Braley's car. She then purchased the morning after pill, the police claim. Contact between the pair then ceased until Braley allegedly contacted the victim to ask him if he had told people about their alleged sexual encounter. And of course he told him that he hadn't. The boy later told police that he felt like he had to send Braley explicit image of himself just to keep her happy. Police will allege Braley made admissions to speaking to 3 students in total, the complainant and 2 other students on a social media app. Braley was married in 23 and was supported in court by her parents and her newlywed husband. Braley was also granted bail at Liverpool Crown Court. Why, I have no idea. But she's asked to report to the police 3 times a week, surrender her passport, and abstain from social media. See ya, Chomet. Texas. An Alabama man has been arrested in Mount Pleasant, Texas, for sexual assault of a child. This chomo is 41-year-old Urban Shell of Alabama, and he was taken into custody Wednesday by the Mount Pleasant Police Department. And they said an officer was patrolling through a city park when they made contact with a car inside the park after closing hours. The officer reported finding Shell inside the car along with a male juvenile. Initial contact with the suspect led officers to believe the juvenile was a victim of Shell's, prompting further investigation leading to Shell's arrest. He was booked into the Titus County Jail for sexual assault of a child, online solicitation of a minor, and solicitation of prostitution of a minor. His bond has not yet been set, and this case is still under investigation, and additional charges may and probably will be filed. See ya, Chomo. A married father of 5 has been accused of filming himself molesting children on his Florida Keys houseboat before distributing the horrific footage online. 39-year-old Eric Cadigan was already sentenced to 20 years in prison on child sexual abuse materials last month. And on Tuesday, Monroe County Sheriff's Office announced it arrested Cadigan on multiple child abuse charges, which includes incest, sexual assault, child cruelty, contributing to the delinquency of a child, and lewd and lascivious behavior on a child. The probable cause affidavit, first seen by the Miami Herald, details multiple incidents of Cadigan allegedly having sexual intercourse with children, encouraging them to engage in sexual acts with each other while he filmed them on his cell phone. The alleged crimes all took place on his sailing boat, which since 2019 had been moored in an arbor in Marathon, Middle Keys. His wife, Kia Cadigan, a 34-year-old, and the children there lived on board the boat with him. Cadigan was arrested in December of 23 for distributing child sexual abuse material, which included offering to sell a man hundreds of images of minors engaging in sexual behavior across an encrypted app. The man turned out to be an undercover agent, which is a very good thing. The explicit images show a male wearing a distinct set of bracelets, which matched jewelry found in Cadigan's bedroom in his property in Wisconsin, according to police. Cadigan's wife, Kia, told FBI agents that she molested a child, leading to her arrest in January, and the sheriff's office opened up an investigation at that time. She also claimed that her husband forced her to sexually abuse the minor, which of course is a claim that the detectives there believed to be untrue. She was equally a co-conspirator, Sheriff Rick Ramsey said in a statement. The mom currently sits in county jail on a $550,000 bond as she awaits trial herself. Myself and the men and women of the sheriff's office are committed to protecting the most vulnerable among us, our children, Ramsey said. Cadigan, meanwhile, is being held in jail on a bond of $2.2 million, and his children were taken into custody.
I'd like to know what dirty stool pigeon squealed on me.
One for a rainbow, one for Amanda.
Who you playing with, sweetie?
Amanda.
Oh, who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm 6, and I love unicorns.
Sexual predators are seeking kids online.
We don't know Amanda.
Learn how to report abuse at end-violence.org/protect.
When a child experiences trauma, they can be stripped of their ability to imagine. But imagination is colors. All the colors. Imagination is freedom. And whatever you want it to be. But a child without imagination is not a child at all. Will you help defend our right to imagine?